Folks, when it comes to the Tyler Robinson trial, they told us preliminary hearing would finally clear everything up. They told us that once the evidence hit the courtroom, all the confusion would magically disappear, like the prosecution was going to descend from the heavens with stone tablets and perfect timelines. They promised us a clean identification, a clean connection, a clean story tying the rifle, the bullet, the rooftop, and Tyler Robinson into one neat little package. Well, after days of testimony, surveillance footage, forensic analysis, and investigator and police explanations that sounded like they were being made up on the spot, I walked away with one conclusion, friends. The case didn't get clearer, it got dumber. The bullet evidence, inconclusive. The fragment count changed pretty much midstream. The surveillance footage, blurry enough, folks. That could have been Bigfoot, far as anyone was concerned. Even someone who knew Tyler Robinson personally couldn't identify him with 100% certainty. And when you stitch the video together, the prosecution's timeline depends on the assumption that the several blurry figures wearing different clothes at different times in different places are magically the same person. So I'm going to show you evidence they swear is airtight. It is not. Because I walked into this hearing expecting the prosecution to finally deliver the mother load. Instead, I walked out asking the only question that matters. Is this really the strongest case they have? The Rossano report is next. Welcome to the Rossano Report. I am Joe Rossano. Folks, let me make this simple because clearly the prosecution couldn't. I'm not burying you under 50 theories. I'm not dragging you down 20 rabbit holes. I'm not doing the conspiracy theory dance. I'm asking one question. How strong is the evidence against Tyler Robinson? Suspicion isn't proof, folks. Resemblance is not identification. Fits the description is not a conviction. A blurry figure may look like Tyler. A car may resemble his. DNA may show he touched something at some point in his life. A witness may think a shape looks familiar. None of that tells us who was on the bleeping roof when the shot was fired. And that's supposed to be the entire point. Who was on the roof? Who had the darn rifle? Who fired the damn shot? And can the physical evidence actually connect that person to Tyler Robinson? The prosecution threw out a mountain of exhibits at the judge. Videos, photos, DNA, a rifle, a screwdriver, a towel, a vehicle, roommate statements, text messages. Sounds overwhelming until you realize the 10-week pieces of evidence do not magically fuse into one strong piece of evidence. See where I'm coming from? Every link has to hold. If one link breaks, the chain breaks. Now, let's start with the bullet, the supposed scientific bridge of the entire case. The prosecution claims a specific rifle fired the round that killed Charlie Kirk. They have the rifle, they have the fragments, they have the experts and the conclusions. It's inconclusive, not a match, not an exclusion. That alone should make everyone stop pretending this case is airtight. But then it gets worse. The medical examiner documented 7 fragments. The firearms examiner received 4. Okay. 3 of those fragments vanished into thin air. Where are they? Who handled them? Why are they lost? Were they mislabeled? Were they shoved in a drawer? This isn't a missing Starbucks receipt, folks. This is evidence pulled from a dead man's body in an assassination case, and the hearing didn't give a clear explanation. The public was told the evidence would answer the questions. Instead, the evidence created new ones. Now, before I show you all kinds of cool evidence and a bunch of videos that you can't get anywhere else, I'm going to kindly ask you to please click the subscribe button. Please like it, very important. Please share this episode. Please comment. We love those. Please click the notification bell for all of the latest episodes. Let me pause right here. These are exactly the cases where independent voices matter, because repeating the government's narrative isn't journalism, folks. I don't do it. So, again, hit the like button, subscribe, turn on those notifications. YouTube doesn't push content like this unless you force it. And we do appreciate that. After you see these videos now, tell me in the comments whether you think this evidence is strong or whether it leaves you with the same doubts I have. Now, let's continue. This is where the prosecution's case collapses under its own freaking stupidity. They showed surveillance videos they claim tracked Tyler Robinson around the campus. Okay? Got me so far? But surveillance footage is only useful when you can actually identify the person. A hat is not an ID. Sunglasses are not an ID. The fact that he wears t-shirts sometimes isn't an ID. Jeans, they're certainly not an ID. I got 200 pair of them. A maroon shirt is definitely not an ID. Thousands of people own those items, including me. So what exactly proves the person in each video is Tyler Robinson? Can we see his face? Can we identify a unique feature? Do we have one continuous video following him from the car to the roof? Or did investigators take separate clips and decide every blurry figure must be Tyler because their theory requires it? Watch what happens. Okay? They see a man in a hat. That's Tyler. They see another man somewhere else. That's also Tyler. Different clothes. Well, Tyler changed. Different location. Tyler moved. Every conclusion depends on the previous one being correct. And then there's the height issue. One clip shows a figure on the staircase who appears to be about 5 inches taller than Tyler Robinson. Tyler Robinson's about my size, 5'9", 5'10". This cat was 6'2". Camera angles matter. Lens distortion matters. Distance matters. But when the footage is already garbage, discrepancies then matter. Okay? The government wants you to accept that the figure that you see is Tyler Robinson. The burden is on them, not on you or I to imagine excuses. Okay? Then we get to the roommate, this Lance Twiggs fella, or they. Forgive me, I'm not sure. He knew Tyler, lived with Tyler. He would recognize Tyler better than any investigator. Now, that's a fact. And even he wouldn't identify the person in those videos and those photographs with 100% certainty. He said the person looked like Tyler. He mentioned the shoes, the sunglasses, the jeans, the hat. He also said the camera quality was too poor to be sure. That is devastating to the prosecution's case. If someone who lived with Tyler can't make a definitive ID, how can the government pretend the identification piece of this trial or this coming trial is settled? Then there's the DNA. Now, DNA shows contact, not when, not where, not who carried the item, not who brought the item to the crime scene. And when two people live together, shared DNA is expected. Yet, the prosecution wants the DNA to carry the entire case. It can't. Not when the bullet is inconclusive, not when the fragments are missing. You know, folks, for that reason alone, not presenting those fragments to the defense in most cases would call for his immediate acquittal. Okay? Not, folks, when the footage is blurry, not when the identification is uncertain. Okay? So I'm going to run a few videos here just to show you how ridiculous some of this is. Now let's check out this very first video. This is what the narrative is. This is what the government wants and all the investigators wants us to believe. So I want you to take a look at it, and I want you to tell me if you think that this is convincing for anybody on the planet Earth.
While conspiracy theorists insist no 30-06 could possibly behave this way, the round blasted into Charlie Kirk's neck, crushed his vertebra, and ricocheted downward toward his heart, only to be stopped dead by his legendary Superman neck of super-dense steel-like bone. It created no exit wound and lodged harmlessly just beneath the skin, which experts hailed as a miracle that saved the bystanders standing behind him. Up on the rooftop, Tyler Robinson didn't just break down his rifle. He shredded it apart in a ridiculous hyperspeed blur using nothing but his bare hands. Then he sprinted across the roof and launched himself off the edge with expert parkour precision. Tyler made the conscious expert decision to reassemble his rifle one last time and place it under a tree in a bush. He then changed back into his blue jeans and maroon t-shirt in hyperspeed. Time for ice cream.
Picked pretty good ice cream to me. Now, remove the comedy and think about the number of steps required. Where was the rifle assembled? How was it carried? When were the clothes changed? Where were the discarded clothes? Where'd he throw them? How did the person move between locations like that? And then jump off the roof like he's Neo. All right? The prosecution must prove the same person appears in every single clip, and they have not. All right, so let's get to this witness. Again, this is amazing. So well, let's check it out.
6 is the bullet fragment, the bullet jacket fragment, as well as some other fragments that were recovered from Mr. Kirk at the time of autopsy. The bullet jacket fragment could not be identified or excluded as having been fired from the Exhibit 1 rifle based on an agreement of all discernible class characteristics and neither sufficient agreement nor sufficient disagreement of individual characteristics. The results of the comparison was inconclusive.
Well, now, the key word, inconclusive. That means central ballistic connection is unresolved. Now, again, folks, keep this in mind, okay? This is a murder trial. This is the death penalty. Inconclusive and unresolved is not going to get it done. Now listen to the fragment count. Okay? Again, it is a cavalcade of a clown car. So let's Let's do the next one here.
You informed at some point that there was a discrepancy between what you were examining and what had been documented by the medical examiner in terms of the number of bullet fragments?
I was, yes.
And was it your understanding that there were originally 7 bullet fragments, but you ended up with 4?
I was alerted that there was potentially 7 fragments from the medical examiner in a photo just a few months ago.
Get that? 7. Count them. 7 documented. 4 examined. 3 are missing. Missing. That could destroy the entire case right there. Missing evidence. Chain of custody matters. Here, it's a big, fat mess. Next video. I mean, the hits just keep on coming here, folks. They just keep on coming.
They claim is the assassin shows up in a parking garage at 9:24 a.m. He is wearing a maroon shirt and shorts. It shows him in the stairway and shows him going back to his car. The person comes back to campus on foot at 10:09 a.m. and walks through the parking garage wearing the maroon shirt and shorts. He comes back at 11:53 a.m. wearing the black shirt and jeans, and he is limping. There's more video of someone walking from very far away. Then we get to this video. You will recognize that this is the video that we have all seen with the assassin jumping off the roof like Spider-Man. I have always complained that the FBI never released the beginning of this video. Well, they have now showed us the beginning. It starts at 12:22 p.m., seconds before Charlie Kirk was shot. We see the person run onto the roof, lay down, and crawl over to the edge. The shot is fired at 12:23 p.m., and the rest of the footage we have already seen of the person running across the roof and jumping off. You should also remember that we have a clear photograph of Tyler Robinson later that day at Dairy Queen with yet another outfit. He supposedly changed again into a maroon shirt and jeans. Why were there so many people on UVU campus wearing maroon shirts? That seems strange. Then they showed video from the sheriff's office that they claim is Tyler Robinson turning himself in. But conveniently, there's no timestamp on the video. We don't know when this was taken. We also never see the face of the person. The length of the shirt sleeve is different from Tyler Robinson. The neckline is different.
That from Wolves in Finance. Thank you very much. Credit to you. That was an excellent segment. Great video. That's why I used it. If the figure looks taller, that matters, doesn't it? Was a proper measurement done? And was it presented? Because again, keep this in mind. If you look at these images, how many things have to jump out at you? Okay. The guy's 6'2", he's not 5'10". Okay. Guy looks older than Tyler Robinson. Tyler Robinson's, I mean, how many changes of clothing? I mean, Wolves in Finance, they were absolutely correct. Look at the difference in the sleeve size, the neck size. I mean, it's just, again, if you're going to put someone in the chair or the chamber, by golly, folks, do you have anything better than this? Just anything? All right, let's see if we can show you one more here, because I mean, I'm pretty convinced of what I've seen here. Now, this is one of my favorites. All right, you're gonna like this one.
Do you recognize the person in these images?
I wouldn't say it with 100% certainty just because of camera quality, but that looks like him in terms of the shoes he's wearing, the sunglasses. I don't think I'd specifically seen him wearing that hat, but he was usually wearing a hat, and then jeans.
Well, he had jeans, all right. I mean, wouldn't you agree? We have different cameras, different clothes, no clear face. This is not a timeline. It's a collage of assumptions, folks. It really is, okay? Listen to someone who actually knows Tyler. He doesn't say, that's Tyler. He said it looks like him, but he's not certain. That alone should stop the prosecution from pretending the damn thing is airtight. One more time, folks, please take a moment to click subscribe, like, share, comment, click the notification bell for all latest episodes. Because here's my conclusion. The prosecution has enough evidence to create suspicion. You see, that's very important. That's all they need. Okay, just to create suspicion, because there's no way this judge, who is going to be everywhere on national television, they're going to recognize him now when him and his family are at Target. He can't say, case dismissed. There's no way. There is going to be a trial. When? Who knows? All right. Suspicion is not proof. The bullet fragment wasn't matched. The fragment count, now it doesn't add up. Where are the darn fragments? Really, if I'm the judge, I'm calling him into my chambers, all right, and I'm saying, where's the damn fragments? The footage does not show a clear face. The identification from Lance Twiggs, this Twiggs fella, as I call him, shaky. The height, extremely questionable. The timeline is stitched together with hope and blurry pixels. And even Tyler's roommate, that's Twiggs fella, wouldn't make a definitive ID. This is not overwhelming proof. This is a chain with all kinds of broken links. Now, maybe more evidence exists. Maybe clearer footage exists. Maybe these folks are going to get together and say, hey, we really screwed the pooch on that preliminary. Thank God we're going to trial now. Maybe the missing fragments have an explanation. But until that evidence is shown, this case is not what the public, we, the people, were promised. A man's life's on the line, this young kid. The victim's family deserves the truth. They deserve an explanation from the jury. The public deserves the truth. And the truth must survive hard questions. Now, I want to hear from you. Let me know. Does the evidence clearly identify Tyler Robinson, or did this hearing leave you with more questions than answers? Put your opinions in the comments. I'm dying to hear this because this evidence deserves to be examined, not blindly accepted. I'm going to conclude this way. If I'm on trial for my life and we're talking the death penalty, I might end up in the darn gas chamber or some kind of injection. Please have something better than this. A blurry image of me, a bunch of clothes changes. My people who live with me, who have known me intimately, can't positively identify me. Geesh, I sure hope that never happens. I mean, from what I understand, evidence is supposed to be airtight beyond a reasonable doubt. If this is what they had, I am not sure Tyler Robinson is guilty of this assassination, is guilty of this murder. Not based on this evidence. Now, again, we might get to the trial and they may again hit the mother load. This was horrible. This was a cavalcade of errors. As always, my dearest friends and fellow Americans, graciously appreciate you hanging out with your pal, Joe Rossano. Again, please subscribe, like, comment, click the notification bell for all latest episodes of your pal, Joe Rossano. God bless you, my dearest friends and fellow Americans. Please do not forget to adopt a pet. Again, God bless you, and we'll see you next time.